Hey everyone, and welcome to another Mrs. Rogers Live. I am back in the factory today, and I just wanted to share with you some wonderful memories of Bruce's that I have been lucky enough to look through. So I want to show you the actual Mrs. Rogers herself. There she is.
So Bruce being the founder of the company.
Bruce is the founder of the company. This is
His mum.
His mum.
Florence Rogers.
Florence Rogers.
We think she was about, she was about 97 when that photo was taken?
Yes, I think it was a birthday celebration from memory that Bruce has said. And I love this photo. Look at this with a little hound dog.
Hound dog.
Hound dog. She did love her dogs, because here's another picture.
Out hunting.
Out hunting.
So Bruce was telling us a story how he was once sitting in the back of the car driving, and they'd been out to get dinner, and had come back and had to sit on a sheep.
Wow.
Yep, and sheep.
Would have been comfy.
Exactly, in the back of a car. But the real specialness is
so this is Mrs. Rogers'
mother's
cooking book. Recipe book. So this is actually now passed down to her daughter. So this has been 3 generations so far. And the lovely thing that her daughter is doing, Bruce's sister, is putting it all, typing it all up. So she's done quite a lot so far with all the different recipes that are in this book. But I'll show you this book very carefully. Very carefully, because it is, as you can see, an old book. But she not only wrote recipes in here that obviously she liked, she cut out.
So we think that the older ones are potentially, the ones like this one's potentially her mother, I would think, maybe. So
Bruce's grandmother.
Bruce's grandmother.
Yes.
Yeah. Just because it's the beginning of the book. And all the rest.
And all of these, the paper.
So there's the delicious ways to cook trout. So taken from newspapers. And so this is the older one, and this is a different writing. So she's added here. So that's probably Mrs. Rogers' actual writing there, and that's her mother's. That's pretty.
So it's so special, and I'm trying to be extremely careful.
We found one there was a pasties that had been written up.
The pasties. So it's somewhere in here.
Somewhere in there. That's right. There's
somewhere
been transcribed over.
Transcribed, which is wonderful, because as you can see, the writing is just beautiful. But we're so, our writing's changing now, so it will be lovely to be able to pass this on to.
Three ways of cooking tongue.
Yes.
Actually, with there you go. With the challenges with cost of food, we may be referring back to ways of cooking tongue. Which, hey, that's fine.
Jellied tongues.
Jellied tongue.
And sheep's tongues.
I don't know about jellied tongues.
Jellied tongues. It's just pour a little savoury jelly when pressing the tongues. So there you go. Try a new soup recipe.
There you go.
Kidney soup.
Kidney soup.
Cream of potatoes.
A bit of kidney soup. So like you said, this is Mrs. Rogers' actual recipe book that's been passed down. Bruce has borrowed this from his sister under fear of extreme punishment if it goes missing or is wrecked. So we've actually taken high resolution photos of. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there, isn't there? But this is where what Bruce, in his love of food, has been inspired by, just the fact, and like you were saying before, that everyone probably has a recipe book like this in their family somewhere, whether it's been lost or whether it's being actively used.
And it would be lovely for us all to keep it, but maybe do what Bruce's sister is starting to do, and put it all in a document somewhere that everyone can share and enjoy. It's just, and I'm also wondering, like, there's this VMAX.
Yeah, Bruce said he remembers VMAX.
So VMAX, it would be like a fake sugar of some sort because it's a diabetic.
Yeah, there you go. So a fake sugar, and we're coming back round to
fake sugars, or at least sugars that are produced differently, so that it doesn't.
Actually, I'll quickly just pan around because one of the things that we've launched just recently is our new baking range, and you're going to start to see that coming onto the shelf. So, and there is, we do actually have a powdered stevia,
which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And
you were saying before about the fact that we're going almost back to basics.
We're going back to basics. We're making life easier.
Baking soda, baking powder,
and there's also some wonderful sugar-free chocolate mix, which would be really good for diabetic people or people wanting to watch their weight.
Also got sugar as well.
Yes.
Dark chocolate. Oh,
but also gluten-free.
Yeah.
We've got some gluten-free stuff and dairy-free coming out.
So if you think over here, we've got a recipe book that's more than 100 years old, and then over here we've got the new packaging, which bears Mrs. Rogers' name. I reckon that's quite. It's
very cool.
It's actually genuinely pretty cool.
It is. It is
to have a recipe book that's 100 years old, and some new products. So. Yeah,
so
quite special.
Here's just a little insight today. Maybe that could be a fun activity to do with the kids these coming holidays.
Oh, see if you can find old recipes.
See if you can find old recipes, and maybe we'll do a competition.
Well,
that could be fun.
That could be an idea.
That could be a good idea. So anyway, guys, thanks for having a look, watching, whether you're live or not. And get those old recipe books out, transcribe them, get the kids to type them up.
And find your old recipe book like that, because that's really special.
Look at that.
Really special.
Very, very.
Look at it.
It's actually falling apart at the back.
It is falling apart.
I have a recipe book that has no back on it, but it's certainly not this old.
No, that's all right.
So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. See ya.